Welcome to our lecture online. In the previous video, we took a look at the binomial distribution function. And we ended up with these numbers that preceded the equation each time that represented the number of times you can have a particular combination of correct and wrong answers. Again, we're dealing with taking a quiz. There's 5 questions. There's 3 possible answers in each quiz. We're not supposed to look at the answers. we're not supposed to look at the questions. Let's say we don't read the questions. We randomly answer the questions. And the question is, how many will we get right and how many will we get wrong? And we wanted to know now where those constants came from that were used in the binomial probability function. And notice here what we're going to put up is what we call the binomial probability tree diagram. Now, I didn't put the entire diagram up. I just want to put enough up so you get the idea. But notice on the first question, we can either have it correct or we can have it wrong. Then, if we had it correct on the second question, we can either have it correct or we can have it wrong. Or if we had it wrong, we can also have it correct or we can have it wrong. The third question, we can have it correct or wrong, correct or wrong, correct or wrong, correct or wrong. On the fourth question, again, correct, wrong, correct, wrong. You can see that this begins to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But essentially, if you follow the entire path, there's only one way in which you can get all 5 of them correct. We'll have 5 correct and 0 wrong. But then if we come up here and at the very last point where we had 4 correct, and then we pick the wrong answer on the 5th one, we'll have 4 correct and 1 wrong. Or if we come in this path, we have 3 correct, and then we have 1 wrong, then we have 1 correct again, we have 4 correct and 1 wrong. Or if we pick the wrong answer for the last one, we have 3 correct and 2 wrong, and so forth. And if we do that for all the various combinations, eventually we'll find out that we end up with the probability of getting 5 correct and 0 wrong. There's only one combination in which that can happen, which is if we pick every correct answer each time we make a choice. Or we can have 5 different combinations where we pick 4 correct and 1 wrong, 10 different combinations where we pick 3 correct and 2 wrong, 10 different combinations where we pick 2 correct and 3 wrong, 5 different combinations where we pick 1 correct and 4 wrong, and 1 combination where we pick 0 correct and all 5 of them wrong, which means if we take this path right here and each time we make a choice, we pick a correct answer, there's only one way to do that. Now notice, if we add them all up, we get 20, 30, 32. There are 32 different combinations, 32 different paths we can take where we have a certain number correct and a certain number wrong. And that's distributed in that particular distribution. Now, how can we calculate these numbers? We can calculate them simply by going like this. N over x, like this. And this represents n factorial divided by x factorial divided by n minus x factorial. So to get any one of those particular numbers, we calculate it as follows. So let's say that we want 1 correct. So in this case, we set x equals 1 because x represents the number of correct picks. All right, let's calculate this out. So we have n, which is the 5 questions, and 1 correct answer is equal to n factorial, which is 5 factorial, divided by x factorial, which is 1 factorial, and n minus x, which is 5 minus 1 factorial. So this would be 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, divided by 1 factorial, which is 1, and divided by 5 minus 1, which is 4 factorial, which is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, like this. Notice that in the numerator we have 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. We have that in the denominator, so they cancel out, and we're left with 5 over 1, which is equal to 5. And that's the number we have right here. We'll let x equals 1. That means 1 correct. We have 5 different combinations of which this can happen. And if we then calculate that using this equation or this formula right here, we get the exact same answer without needing to do the binomial probability tree diagram, which of course would be a very difficult thing to do, especially as it gets very big. But at least you can visually see why this would work, because you can see how that then distributes itself correctly across the entire tree diagram if you want to lay it out like this. And now, hopefully we understand what we mean by the binomial probability distribution function, or the binomial probability function. It just simply lays out the way in which we can calculate the probability of any particular outcome given a particular situation like this. You probably want to see some more examples, and we can show you some examples, so let's do that on the next several videos, give you some other ways in which some other example problems, but again we'll use the same binomial probability function in order to calculate the probability of particular outcomes. And that is how it's done. Is it a wrap for tonight? All right.